everyone, it's Amanda here, and today I'm going to show you how I made this quite special little project, inspired by something that I actually saw in a shop in my town centre, and it was one of them I was like, I can so make that. You know, like when you see something and you just think, I'm not paying that, I can make it. So that's what I did. Basically it is a shadow box shaker card. Okay, so it's a shadow box with a beautiful sentiment in, turned it into a shaker, and it also has a stand like so you can write a sentiment on the back there and it will stand up. So I'm going to show you how to do it. It might be quite a long process. I'll try and cut it down as much as I can, and it may well be in 2 parts. So let's get going. So first of all, you need a sheet of 12 by 12 in whatever colour you decide you want it in. Let me just move some of that. And you get it on your scoreboard and you score at, let me just get my measurements. Right, so 3/4 of an inch. Okay, just take care because you know you're doing it the full length of the board. 3/4 of an inch, 1.5 inch, 2 1/4, and 3. So you're doing that on all 4 sides. So again, 3/4 of an inch, 1.5, 2 1/4, and 3. All of the measurements will be over on my blog. So again, 3/4, 1.5, 2 1/4, 3, 3/4, 1.5, 2 1/4, and 3. Okay, now all your sides are equal at the moment. On 2 sides, so we're going to do it top and bottom, you need to score at the 3 3/4 mark, but only down to the second score line. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 score lines across there. So we're scoring down to the second from the 3 3/4 inch mark. So I've got to 3 3/4 inch and I'm just scoring down to the second and then I'm stopping. And then I'm going to do the same at 8 1/4. I'm just scoring down to the second and then I'm stopping. So then I turn my paper all the way. So this was the top. We're doing the opposite side, which is the bottom, and we're doing it the same again. 3 3/4 down to the second and 8 1/4 down to the second. Okay, like so. And then we're going to take that away and we are going to cut. And I'm going to cut before I burnish. And what we're doing is we've got these corner sections here with 1 2 3 4 squares by 1 2 3 4. We're going to cut all of those away on both sides. Okay, so cut all of those away. Try your best to cut straight. The straighter and more accurate you can cut, the better your corners will look when you put it together. Although, you know, if it's not 100% perfect, don't worry. And I will also say that if you've never made one of these before, do your first one on a piece of scrap. Don't use your best cardstock, because it is very, very highly likely that on your very first attempt you might not quite get it quite lined up right. Don't give up. Don't think it's you. It's one of those things that seems complicated, but it isn't. But our brains tell us it's complicated and we can make very easy, simple mistakes. So if you do your first one wrong, don't think, oh, I can't do this, it's too difficult. Just do it again. Because, you know, you will learn from your mistakes. And if you do something wrong the first time, you'll know not to do it again the next time. That's how I tend to do it. You know, I do it myself all of the time. I think, why did I do that? What an idiot. I'm going to have to start again now. You know, but it's how we learn. And it doesn't mean that we're not capable. If at first you don't succeed, try again. You know. It's all well and good having a paddy and throwing stuff on the floor. Not that I ever do that. But you're not going to learn unless you keep doing it. And that is how we learn. Okay. Now you're more than welcome to fast forward some of the parts. I don't know how to cut chunks out of my videos and still have them looking half decent. And anyway, I don't have time for that. So you'll just have to fast forward the boring bits. So now I'm going to get my bone folder. Oh no, I'm not. I haven't done. So we've got these 2 extra score lines that we did on both sides. We're going to cut those away, first of all. So we're cutting down to that second score line. And then we're going to cut that section out. Cut it out because you don't need it. Okay. And then where we've just cut out, on the next row down, we're going to cut from that point across to that point. So you're just going to go from there and across to that. So you've got that. That's just not, hold on, I need to just do that a bit better. I've done it wonky. Cut it wonky. It needs to be as straight as you can get it. So let me just give that a trim. That's better. So you're cutting where you've cut down, you're cutting from there and you're cutting to the point of the next one. So I'll do it here again so that you can see. So down to there, and then we're going to cut across there from this point to this outer point. Okay. You could scar it so that it's dead accurate, but it's handmade. It doesn't matter if those corners aren't exactly perfect. You can always layer over them with, you know, hide them with something if it looks really bad. You can layer paper on, you can wrap washi tape around the edges. It don't matter. You know, and the more you do it, the more accurate you'll get. So don't worry. Okay. And so again, from where I've cut, where I've finished cutting, out to the point of where that scar finishes on the outer edge. Okay, I'll do it that way around. So from that outer edge up to there and meet it. You can draw a line with a pencil if you want to be more accurate. If you're not confident that you're going to cut it straight, I'm just going to trim that slightly. Make it a little bit neater. So then you've got that shape there. Okay, hope you can see it. Let me zoom in a little bit in so you can see. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 score lines there. Okay, and you've got 4 all the way around, and the top and bottom are identical. So I'll just make you feel seasick. Then we're going to scar and burnish all of these edges. Okay, so rather than you watching, I will pause and I will be back in a minute. So I have scored and burnished. Well, no, I'd already scored. I've burnished all of those and I've folded them, and I've done it really, really well, so they're really well folded. And then what you do is you lift those over, and you're going to be putting tape on the very bottom section of each flap. So there, 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 and there. So each flap has 4 sections. You're going to put it on the very last section, okay? And then you're going to start and construct your box. Now, to construct your box, what you want to do is you want the non-shaped sides to be adhered first, okay? Because they are going to adhere, and then that is going to adhere, and it's going to slot over the top. This shaped bit is going to slot over the top of that. So you need to do the non-shaped edges first. If you do these first, you won't be able to build it properly. I know what I'm on about, because I stuck the wrong side down when I first ever did this box. So I'm using red line tape. It's very strong. You get it on eBay. Okay, and all you do is you're attaching this section here with your tape to the outer edge of that. So you're attaching it to this base here and you're lining it up there. So the easiest way to do it is to fold that back, okay? Fold it in half like that, and then just literally fold it all in half again and press. Okay, and then that pops up like that, like a little square. So let me show you again. So if I do it without the tape, I'm folding it in half because I've got 4 sections. So I'm folding those 4 sections in half so it lines up with my base. Then I'm going to remove my tape and I'm going to fold it over. Okay? So I'll show you one more time. So you've got your 4 sections and you do the same on every. You fold it in half, all your score lines are there. You remove your tape and then you carefully, this is all should be lined up because it's all scored and it should all be nice and flush. Then you carefully fold the whole thing over and press. Okay? So I'm removing my tape. Get it all flat. Fold it over and press. And it should all just be nice and flat because all of your score lines are perfect. Okay? And then it will pop up like so. And then, you know, you can flatten it down that way while you do this one if you want. It should flatten down that way and it should flatten down that way. And that is how you know you've got it all lined up perfect. So we're going to do the same here. I'm going to get it flush against there. And then I'm going to remove my tape. And then I'm going to fold it over. Don't be naughty, it's being naughty. Okay. For some reason it don't want to. There we go. That one didn't want to go then. Let me just make sure that's right. There we go. So that's that one, and then the other one. Let me just check that it's going to be folding over. There we go. So on this one you fold it over like that. Just fold it over to the one, not in half. So fold it over once and then fold it the whole thing in half. Okay, so it's slightly different on this end. Don't know why that's worked out, but it has. Okay, so fold it over once and then fold the whole thing in half. Okay. And then that all pops up. And then you slot those inside there. Okay. Like so. And that is how your box is constructed. Now some people stick it down with tape. I'm actually going to glue mine with wet glue. And again, I'm going to do that whilst I pause the camera because it can take a while to dry. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a little bit of wet glue on the triangle there. Tuck it in and hold it whilst it dries. Okay, so I've constructed my box. It's all nice and flush and the corners aren't too bad, they're not gapey. So now I'm going to start and I'm going to decorate it. So what I'm using is I'm using this lovely feature stamp, which is from the Lovely Friends. I'm going to stamp it on with Melon Mamba onto Whisper White. And then I'm going to fussy cut it. I must be mad. I think I've lost the plot. But it does look good. And, you know, it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly fussy cut. Because it's going to go on a paper background. And I'm using the Floral Boutique. And I'm going to use the new in colour powder pink, which is this one. So I've cut this and I've cut it to 4.5 by 4.5, and that will slot nicely inside there. Okay, it will just fit nicely in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp that sentiment. I'm going to stamp it onto there. I'm going to fussy cut it and then I'm going to stick it on there. On my original one, I used glimmer card behind and I layered all around here with glimmer paper, but I don't have any left. So we're going to stamp this beautiful, beautiful image. Doesn't matter if it's not straight. because we're going to cut it out. Okay. The Stampin' Up snips are awesome for fussy cutting because they're nice and sharp. Just be careful you don't nick your skin because it will hurt. And that is a beautiful, beautiful stamp. I absolutely love it. And Melon Mambo is the most beautiful colour. So I'm just going to give that a second to dry. Then I'm going to fussy cut it. Not going to do that on camera because that will be like watching paint dry. Back in a minute. Here we go, I'm back. Fussy cut my sentiment out. It didn't take me that long. It's quite easy to do. It just takes a bit of patience. Not something that I have in leaps and bounds, but you know, if I can do it, anybody can. And now I'm going to stick it to my background. If I can get any glue out. Okay, and I want it to be nice and really flat on my paper. I don't want any edges lifting up. And that's because obviously I'm going to add shaky shakies. I'm going to add sequins to my box. So I don't want them getting stuck because we've got raised edges. So I'm going to make sure that that glue is right up to the edges by just smushing it with my finger. You could be a bit more elegant and use a paintbrush. Totally up to you. I'm happy to get my hands in and get a bit smushy. Doesn't bother me. Okay. So now I'm going to attach that to my paper line background and I'm going to get it positioned where I want it. There we go, like that. Make sure my mat's clean, then I'll just turn it over and give it a rub with my bone folder. Hopefully that should be all nicely adhered. Just give it an extra press. It does look awesome on glitter paper, as you can see from my sample, or you know, foiled card or something like that. But I'm waiting on Mr. Brown coming to my house and bringing me my order, and in that order is my glimmer paper, but I need to get on with the video. So there you go. So now I'm going to glue. You can use your tape runner if you want, but I just want to be able to adjust if necessary and have a little bit of wiggle room within my box. So I'm going to start by slipping it into the bottom first and then gently pushing it so that it fits. And it should fit more or less perfect because, you know, it's all a square and it's all nice and neat. You know, just pull them gently, them squares, and your paper will just, if need be, just slot in. There we go. Just lift it gently because that's only down with tape, so you'll be able to, it will give a little bit of give. So just get your poker tool and push that all the way in, and then that is in absolutely perfect. Just got a bit of dust there, I don't want that in. Don't know what that is, don't want that either. What's that? I've got a spot of something on my work. I'm not happy. Right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our window on. Now this is a part where I can not emphasise enough to be careful. Make sure your hands are clean, make sure your work surface is clean. You don't want to get anything sticky on that acetate, or else all your work is for nothing because it's hard to get it off. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I haven't got anything sticky there. And what I'm using is, I am using, shall I use red line tape or tear tape? I'm going to use red line tape. Okay, and I'm attaching it. I've cut this shadow box now measures 6 by 6. And it's a 6 by 6 inch square. So I've cut my acetate, my window sheet, to 5 and 7/8. I've just cut it just shy of 6. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to then layer over the top of that with DSP. You don't need foam strips because you've already got the depth of the shadow box, so that's not necessary. All you need to do is make sure that you know, that window sheet is attached nicely so that your shakies can't get out. I do think that there are room for things like this on craft fairs. I don't think you have to always have low budget items that only take 2 minutes to make on your craft stalls. I think you can also have things like this. People will pay for them, and you could have you know, a variety of them and say that they're made to order, and that way you are encouraging repeat custom, because not only are they going to buy the cheap stocking filler co-worker gifts, they're going to come back and they might order one for somebody's birthday or something like that. Okay, so there's definitely room for higher priced items. Don't always undervalue yourself by selling cheap stuff. Sometimes have a few higher priced items. So I've taken off the bottom there and I'm leaving the top, and the reason being because I'm going to use the top to line up my acetate straight, and then I'm going to push it down to the bottom and stick it there, rather than remove it all and get myself in a big sticky mess. I'm just doing that. I've just seen a bit of a piece of fluff that I don't want. Get out. Don't want you. Okay, so now this is where I can bring in my trusty bag of sequins. This bag of sequins has done me proud. And I'm putting quite a lot in. Let's have a look. I want them to line the bottom of there, like that. So you've got quite a nice pile of them. Okay, there's enough there. I'll save them for another project. Then once they're in, you can remove the rest of your tape, obviously. Okay, and I do it section by section so I don't get in a mess. Also helps you keep everything straight and lined up, which it's not perfectly lined up there. I'm not right happy with that, but there you go. Sometimes when you're filming, things aren't perfect. I'm going to go in with my scissors and I'm just going to trim that, because I'm not 100% happy. I'm just going to trim that. I'm going to trim the bottom of that because I'm going to line over it with DSP. I've just attached it a fraction of an inch too low and I'm not happy, and I can't cope if I don't do things. Right, so there we go, just trimmed that off. That's better. I don't want it protruding past the bottom of the box. So then I've got 4 pieces of DSP, and these measure 6 inches by 3/4 of an inch. Now, here's a tip. Miter 2 of them and keep 2 of them not mitered. Because if you miter them, it can be quite difficult to get it exact. And if it's a handmade project, you know, your lines might not be perfect. So what you do is you line over one top and bottom that is just straight with no mitering. Okay, like so. And then you put your mitered ones over the top. And then, you know, you've got room for error. So I'm just going to attach those now. And I'm going to do it with red line tape, and I will be back. Right, so there we go. We've got our shaker box. Now we want it to stand up. It's all lined neatly there with the DSP. And I'm going to attach a stand at the back. So I've cut a piece of card. This is actually from the back of the DSP. And this measures 10.5 by, I think, is it 4? It doesn't really matter, to be honest, as long as it's obviously not wider than your project 4. So 10.5 by 4 scored at 5 and a quarter. So what we're going to do is, first of all, I'm going to attach it with some tape. And I'm using red line because I want it to be really, really strong and sturdy. If you've got a really strong, really, really good wet glue, you could use that as well. Okay. Where's the end gone? This is a lovely project to make. It doesn't take that long. Once you get going, you know, you can make the outer shell of these boxes in minutes. It's the decoration, you know, that takes the longest. But you know, if you did a few, like I say, in a row, get yourself a little production line going. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I normally do, and I'm going to only take one off, and I'm going to take the top one. So I'm taking the one off that's nearest to the fold, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this bottom edge with the bottom of my box. So I'm going to find the centre part, or as central as I can, and I'm lining that up, and I'm going to help line it up by holding my thumb there, and then my thumb can feel the edge of that, and it can feel the edge of the box as well, and that's how you can kind of judge it. Okay, so that's quite straight, and then I press, so that top is attached now. So now I can just flip it carefully over so I don't rip it, and I can just go in the back with my pokey tool, a little bit fiddly, but go in the back with my pokey tool and get that extra tape out. Okay, and then I can press that on. So that then gives me a flap. Now to stop it just like going like that, you want it to stand up, we're going to attach a ribbon because it's a gift. We're making a little bit of extra effort. We're going to attach a ribbon. So I've got a piece of scrap ribbon here. Now, I would advise burnishing the ends of your ribbon with a lighter. I don't have mine to hand because somebody's nicked it. It was bonfire night last night in England, and I do believe that my crafting lighter was used to light sparklers. So there you go. Right, so I'm using red line tape. You can use whatever you want. You don't even have to use ribbon. You can use another piece of card if you want. Okay, so I'm attaching a piece of ribbon. I'm just going to fold it over so I know where the edge is, and on the inside just going for more or less the middle. Give that a press, and then measure roughly. I don't want it to go probably any wider than about that. But then again, you've got to give it room to, you know, shut. Trim that. Let me measure that for you to give you an idea of how much to use. I've used roughly 3 1/4. Between 3 1/4 and 3 1/2 will be plenty. And then what you do is you want to flip that like it's a loop, like so. Put some on that end. A little bit of tape. Trim it. So you're sticking it on the opposite end, so like in a loop, you'd put it on that end there. And then just line it up with that one, not with the sticky, but with the sticky. The sticky's on the top there. And then we're going to shut that. And then that will be attached. And then you've got that, okay? Which will keep you can either fold it shut, tuck it in and fold it shut, or it will help your cards, your shaker box stand up. So that's the stand done. Right. We're nearly done. I'm just going to show you how I did my ribbon now. Obviously this bit is optional. I got quite a long piece of ribbon. Trim that bit off. I've got sticky on my scissors. I'm going to have to clean them. Let me get another set of scissors and get my glue dots. Get my glue dots ready. Right, so I want that to go down there twisted, so I'm starting my ribbon about here. And I'm holding it in my thumb, I'm going around my finger, back to my thumb again. Okay, about there. And then I'm going to wrap that around, take my finger out. I learned this off of another lady, another demonstrator called Pip. Take my finger out, shove that through where the thumb was and pull. That's so simple. It's just ridiculous. That's how to tie a bow on camera and not get stressed. Right, so let me just get it to the size that I want it. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to mess with it all day. I just want it nice and tight so that it doesn't come undone. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to stick it on with a glue dot on the back of there. Which is the best looking side? I love that one. So I'm sticking my glue dot on there. I'm going to attach it to the corner of my box. Okay, and then I'm just going to get my ribbon and I'm going to find which way it twists best. Right, it's twisting nicely that way. We'll give it a couple of twists. Another glue dot. And we'll put that glue dot in the bottom corner there. And then we can attach our ribbon to there. Trim that off. Like so. Get a glue dot ready. Oh, it's on my thumb. Put it on the corner of there. And get my ribbon. Is it going to twist? No, it'll twist that way. Give it a twist. So you've got some nice like barrel curls. Don't have it too tight. And then just attach it there on the corner and give that a trim. Oh, that's not very attractive, Amanda. Let me just trim that a bit better. That's better. And there you go. We've finished, and that is a beautiful project. I'm sure you'll agree. It's a lot easier than it looks. It's just a little bit time consuming. I hope you'll give that a try. And that will stand up like so, and I think that's a lovely gift. You could make a box to put it in. Maybe that's a project for another day. Thanks for watching. Take care and I'll see you soon. Bye.